Hey guys, it's Hair here from Team Crew Gaming, and today I'm back with another last to first challenge, and today I'm doing it in the Williams of Lance Stroll at Baku, where he famously got his third place last year, the only podium he has so far. So yeah, let's go into it. So, into the race now. We're starting obviously from the back. We're going to be going for the normal strategy. I'm just going to be increasing the lap by 1 lap, because I think that would be a little bit quicker. I can stretch these tyres for a little bit more. As obviously the Williams isn't as good in terms of pace relative to the Ferraris, the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. So now we go to 5 red lights for Baku, Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and away we go. And straight away we've got a decent start there compared to Pascal Wehrlein, who bogs down, and we've got Stoffel Van Dorn alongside me. Make a diving move up the inside of both Saubers and the McLaren. I get past Van Dorn, but I can't quite get past any of the Saubers, so I have to wait a little bit, and here I can make a dive bomb both Saubers, it looks like, into turn 2, and I kind of get squeezed out there by Pascal Wehrlein, and as a drag race, and I'm easily going to win that with the Mercedes power in the back of this Williams. So yeah, up into P17 here after the third corner, and I'm now catching Julian Palmer is in the Renault, and I'm trying to make a move up the inside there. You can see Hulkenberg and Alonso going side by side into the next corner just ahead of us, and I get the move on Julian Palmer, and Alonso gets squeezed out by Nico Hulkenberg there, and you can see we slot into P16, Alonso just ahead of us in P15. So yeah, hopefully in the Williams we're going to be getting P10. That's going to be my goal for this race and for this challenge, because it's not as good a car as it used to be. As you can see, this is the famous castle section, the narrowest part of any Formula 1 track in this season. So yeah, it's a really tricky section. So yeah, now we move on to later on to the same lap, and we're quite far behind Fernando Alonso, and you can see make a move up the inside. As that corner, I am really quick compared to the AI. I get a decent entry and a good exit, and I get side by side with Fernando Alonso, but I squeeze him out, and that's me up into P15. So now we move up onto the end of lap 2 as we're hunting down Nico Hulkenberg, that is, in the Renault just ahead of us. As you can see, Valtteri Bottas setting the fastest lap of the race, and yeah, so moving on to lap 3 now. You can see Hulkenberg tries to make a move on the car ahead. I can't quite see who that is. I think it's Carlos Sainz in the Star Rosso, as he does make a move up the inside, as DRS is enabled obviously in lap 3, and he gets squeezed as Sainz comes back at him, and you can see here who's going to come out on top. I think Hulkenberg just has the inside line and can get it. I kind of get bogged down. I tried to make a switch back with him. It didn't quite work out. But with DRS, hopefully I can get Sainz at least. And I go round the outside of Sainz, and I make my move up into P14, and I make a double overtake, switch to the inside, make a beautiful dive bomb up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, and I have the better traction on my new super soft tyres, and I am up into P13. Now moving on to lap 4, you can see him catching Kevin Magnussen in his Haas, and you can see yellow flags up ahead, and I think someone's crashed his debris and a flying front wing. Wow, that's a sight to behold there. As you can see, yellow flags, and let's have a look at what that was. So I think that was the 2 Red Bulls. Yeah, they go side by side, Ricciardo and Verstappen, and Ricciardo just ahead right now, and Verstappen is on the outside, and I'm guessing Verstappen is going to get squeezed out into the wall. Yes, he does. He loses all of his front wing, and you can see the Force India, the Haas's, just run over the front wing and send it flying, as we saw from my point of view. And you can see Verstappen damaged his car, and he's got a front wing damage. Ricciardo, I think, came off unscathed there, and also that collision has brought out the safety car. So this is pretty much perfect timing for me to come into the pits, fit on a set of soft tyres, and yeah, I think I should be able to stretch those to the end of the race. I think my scheduled pit stop was lap 6, from the super soft to the softs, and now I'm going to cut it down to lap 4. But obviously under the safety car you don't use as much tyre wear, and that's going to be a benefit. As you can see, itching to make that move on Magnussen, but obviously I cannot do that under safety car. Yeah, under the safety car, as overtaking is prohibited. As you can see now, we're going to go on to into the pits. We'll have a look and see how many cars go into the pits, and hopefully for me, Felipe Massa, who's I think a couple cars ahead of us, doesn't come to the pits. But sadly, and yeah, unfortunately, Massa just comes into the pits, and I overtake Magnussen in the pit lane, but I have to go back onto the racetrack because I don't want to double tackle, lose too much time, or come out and pretty much last. But you can see the whole field. Every single car, I believe, went into the pits. So I now find myself leading this race. So now we move on to the end of lap 6, where the safety car comes in. But that's just extraordinary how I've ended up in P1. Obviously, I am a pit stop behind these lot, and I don't think this audacious strategy would have worked. But I had no other choice. So yeah, on the safety car restart, doing a little bit of a Hamilton, just speeding up, slowing down, not actually going. And yeah, you can see here, just weaving around, trying to get the tire temperatures, and you'll see when I'll go in there, I think I'm gonna go. No, I just slow down there in the end, and I catch Bottas off guard. As here, I just bolt away. You can see Bottas unexpectedly just doesn't keep up with me and doesn't have the same presence of mind to stick with me, and I've gained a little bit of time, about 8/10 of a second. I'm going to keep me ahead around the street circuit and onto lap 7. I'm probably going to have to make my pit stop a couple of laps later than I would have liked, and that will also mean though that I have fresh soft tyres for the end of the race as you move on to the end of the same lap 7, on the back straight, the long back straight, the longest in Formula 1. You have Bottas queuing up, Bottas and Vettel both queuing up to overtake me. Bottas with pure slipstream and power just powers past me, squeezing towards the pit lane, but I don't want to squeeze him too much, so that will end in the collision. I swoop, he gets ahead, but I swoop right around the outside and make a clean overtake back into P1. But yeah, for how long? Moving on to the end of lap 8, this next lap, carbon copy move almost, is Bottas breathing down my neck once again, and you can see this time he gets a lot closer, and it was a lot farther back, I think, and that gave him the more overspeed. You can see the Ferraris behind the Vettel has lost a bit of time to both of us, and again Bottas side by side, but again same move again, carbon copy around the outside. This time I go a little bit wider than I did in the first attempt, but that makes Bottas vulnerable to Vettel, but it keeps me ahead of both of them. Now onto lap 9, end of lap 9, start of lap 10. I make the call to box in this lap, and you can see I've done some really good work here, as the front runners behind me were just trying to fight each other, and that allowed me to get about a 1.5 second gap. And you can see just about hit the speed limiter there, and I'll see where I will filter out after this pit stop, and hopefully I'll have like 6 laps fresher tires. I'll just do hammer time basically, as I call it, have party mode on, rich mix, because I've got quite a lot of fuel spare from the safety car, so I should be able to put the hammer down and just hopefully get back into the points, which is going to be my target. It's been really, really difficult, but because of the safety car, all the cars bunched up, and I find myself in P19, which is really unfortunate, as Esteban Ocon, I think, had damage, and he's about 20 seconds behind me. But moving on to the end of lap 11, you can see here it's taken me 1.5 laps to catch up to Marcus Ericsson. I think it's about a 6-second gap, and I've got really good pace on these tires. I make a move up the inside of Marcus Ericsson, a little bit of contact there, wheel banging there, but I think that's okay, and I'm into P11 now. And you can see yellow flags ahead on the mini-map, and that is because there is a stricken car, as you can see on the left-hand side, and I just passed it. That's Valtteri Bottas, who I almost hit, but Marcus Ericsson hits him. Marcus Ericsson runs into the side of Valtteri Bottas, who I think has an issue, and he's going really slowly. Bottas, of course, was right behind me in the safety car restart. And yeah, you can see Valtteri Bottas there has a puncture, you can see in the front left tyre, and narrowly avoids Toro Rosso there. A little bit of contact with him, and you can see I think that's Haas and Van Dorn going through, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, and you can see that's me going through, and then you can see Marcus Ericsson just colliding. You didn't see it coming, and he just swooped a little bit right there from Bottas. I think that was a little bit of both fault, and you can see that they both collided or not. That does help me out, of course, up into P17 now. And yeah, 7 move, but you can see all the cars ahead of me are closely matched and really tight, so I think I might be able to make some moves on the last 2 laps of the race. You can see now Pascal Wehrlein getting overtaken, I think it was, or either trying to attack Julian Palmer. I make a move up the inside of Wehrlein, and he's down to P17. I'm up into P16, and a little bit of contact with the wall there, but I think that's okay. No damage done there. You can still see Bottas limping around on the mini-map. Finally, he's going to go to the pits. You can see me focusing on Julian Palmer now. Hopefully, I'll be able to make the move on him soon. As I try to make the move in here, and I do so successfully, barge my way through effectively. A little bit of contact there, but I think this is a rough sport, and I think I have made it up into P14, I think it is, as 19 runners now, someone has retired from the race. and let's have a look on the instant replay who that is. Actually, it took me quite a while, in fact, to find who it was. Actually, I looked through the cameras and it was not an evident issue, but I finally found out after a couple of minutes. You can see, yeah, just have a look. If you see there's yellow flags, it's not Toro Rosso. In fact, if you look a little bit ahead, you will see the Renault of I think it's Nico Hulkenberg, I believe. You can see Magnussen going through, and where I switch back from I think that's Alonso. Switch back. There's no switch for the for Hulkenberg. You can see behind there's an engine failure for him with smoke coming out the back. So it is Nico Hulkenberg with an engine failure that has to retire from this race. So yeah, I'm up into P14 courtesy of that, and now hopefully I can make the move on Van Dorn, Stoffel Van Dorn. In his McLaren. So yeah, I go through this castle section here, the tightest corner on F1 on lap 12. I'm closing up on Van Dorn, and hopefully I can make the move soon. I have to get going if I want to try and get into points. Only one lap left, and yeah, it'll be really difficult to get into the points. But yeah, you can see here the corner coming up here. I make a dive bomb up the inside, just narrowly cut the corner, go over the curb, in fact, and get up into P13. And sadly, that's as far as I went, and my footage corrupted after that, so I can't really show you what happened. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn our notifications on, and it's Team Crew Gaming. Stay tuned for more videos.